Deseo agradecer.
I would like to thank the people and government of Indonesia and Bali for their excellent organization of this conference. I would also like to thank the chairman of the conference and the director general of the WTO. We would like to thank Mr. Azevedo for the hard work that he has done in order to ensure that these negotiations are successful. We have to ensure that we do everything we can in order to ensure that we agree measures that enhance development. We are to focus on this as part of the DDA, and if we don't do so, we will undermine the WTO and the entire multilateral trading system. These are risks that we must avoid, and we must avoid adopting any agreement just for the sake of it. The president of Indonesia made a number of statements in his opening speech on the need to ensure that there is a more fair multilateral trading system that tackles the problems that we face. Many negotiations in Geneva feel fairness and equity to be foreign to WTO negotiations. And this necessarily will have an effect on our results. We must ensure that we deal with the imbalance that we face, and we must ensure that people come here bearing in mind what was negotiated in Geneva, and must ensure that we actually do fulfill our Doha mandate. When it comes to trade facilitation, we don't think this simply helps poor countries. We feel that trade facilitation is significant for everyone. Argentina feels that we must ensure that we have substantial measures agreed in order to ensure that there are agricultural reforms. There is a great deal of distortion in agriculture because of subsidies paid in developed countries, and this is a part of the Doha agenda. However, there is for now no real correlation between trade facilitation concessions that we ask of developing countries without developed countries actually making commitments in agriculture. We must ensure that we have a balanced agreement. Developing countries continue to suffer from barriers and subsidies that affect their exports, and this is particularly true when it comes to agriculture. This is a policy which undermines developing countries and their food production in particular. As we all know, Africa was a net exporter of food before the subsidies were involving developed countries, and it could once again become an exporter if these matters are dealt with. We must ensure that there is a way of ensuring that there is a productivity when it comes to agricultural products and raw materials. But there is a need for access to developed countries' markets in order to ensure that there is development, because there is a need for currency in order to ensure that inputs can be imported. In this period of uncertainty with respect to multilateral trading negotiations, Argentina would like to reaffirm its commitment to the Doha Development Agenda, and we undertake to continue negotiating, and we will show flexibility. We have done so throughout. If we don't agree here on the package in Bali, it's not because there's anything wrong with the Bali package itself. It will simply be because there has not been enough done to ensure that the cross-cutting issues that we have to tackle. And we need to continue post-Bali to work on this attempt to find agreement on these cross-cutting issues in order to ensure that we can find ways of dealing with export subsidies. This must be a matter of priority if we are to have a trade system that actually respects equity and justice. We must work to ensure that we have a Bali agreement. If we don't do so, we will simply fail to demonstrate that we have taken everyone's concerns on board, because we need to take everyone's views in order to ensure that we have a fair agreement. And we have to look at agriculture, special and differential treatment, and LDCs. We have some agreement, and we must ensure that we reach more agreements, because we will not be able to move forward with the 21st century if we fail to meet our commitments for the 20th. Thank you for your attention.